Uganda's economy has recently faced major challenges. Economic growth slowed down to 3.2% and inflation soared and remained at double-digit levels under shocks for most of 2011 and 2012. This contrasted recovery of other economies in the region. As stability returns, the economic outlook is positive. Growth will turn around as constraints abate and begin to raise the country's growth potential. But the key vulnerability remains the fact that Uganda continues to export far less than it imports. A glimpse of hope to address these vulnerabilities remains in regional trade.
Uganda has not suffered too much decline in its trade because over 45% of our trade is within the regional market, the East Africa community and the COMESA market. And the demand for those products are fairly steady. And this is because of our strategic location at the hub of the Great Lakes region, which gives us comparative advantage in terms of moving heavy goods to the market.
There have been quite good fortunes as well as bad fortunes. Good fortunes in that there is a very growing demand from Southern Sudan as well as the DR Congo. Actually, in the last 4 to 5 years, Southern Sudan and DR Congo have been very good trading partners. The bad fortunes, I'm talking of the civil war and civil unrest, civil strife in Southern Sudan, as well as again the civil strife in DR Congo. Uganda having a comparative advantage in foods and beverages, we are mainly exporting products mainly in agro-processing. We're looking at fruits, we're looking at vegetables, we're looking at juices, we're looking at grains and cereals.
Haji Ahmed Naleba is a rice farmer in the eastern district of Butaleja. He has been growing rice since 1982 at his Luoba irrigation farm in Masulula village.
We started with a lower production. We are now reaching 1.2 tons per acre. That means we have climbed from very low production to that production. In the last few years, the demand has really gone up so much because there is a channel for taking it to Sudan.
As Ugandan traders take advantage of emerging markets like the newly independent state of South Sudan and neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo, farmers like Haji Naleba have seen their profit margins increase. This is an opportunity to harness. But beyond agricultural produce, Uganda can export manufactured goods to the region, as well as services like education, tourism, and even transit services. Nonetheless, transport and logistics remain a big challenge. Musa Waswa, a Ugandan businessman, has been on Gulu Nimule Road before. It usually takes him about 24 hours to take goods from Kampala to Juba. Today, he wasn't so lucky. His truck full of vegetables and fruits overturned along Gulu Nimule Road.
Twadde tuva Kangulumira Kayunga district tutwala emaali eno Juba tuli basuubuzi naye olw'ekkubo tusafalinga nnyo.
On the Sudan side, the road is perfect. It's okay up to here. But from here, going to Gulu, the road is terrible.
Beyond poor maintenance of road transport, the cheaper railway and water alternatives are almost non-existent. Only 10% of Uganda's trade is facilitated through these routes. Other logistical challenges like delays in ports of Mombasa and Dar es Salaam, freight services and bonded storage escalate the transport costs.
To transport a container from China to Mombasa can cost you up to $1,000. But transporting the same container from Mombasa to Kampala can cost you up to $4,000 to $4,500. Now that shows you the real cost of transport.
From the private sector's perspective, more effort is needed to reduce these transport costs.
development of infrastructure, mainly railways, ports and harbors. So if we could put more effort towards using the waterways through Kisumu, Mwanza, Port Bell and Bukakata in Masaka, it would alleviate the pressures currently that are put on the road.
The ease in trade brought by reduction of tariffs has been reversed by the increasing non-tariff barriers. These are usually regulations which turn into barriers.
There is slow implementation of these protocols. Still a nightmare to get a work permit for once you are not a resident and you want to start business.
In spite of the past efforts, getting rid of non-tariff barriers is a continuous process that requires negotiation.
As we talk now, there is a cash bond which has been slapped on all transiting goods to Uganda, Rwanda, through Kenya. They have slapped a cash bond on sugar, they have slapped a cash bond on used items, and even vehicles which are beyond 2,000 cc's. As many as 650 containers destined to Uganda are stuck in Mombasa. We need to address it at the ESC level secretariat to make sure that such unilateral decisions by each member country don't affect the whole regional trade.
Discrimination of goods at ports and police roadblocks or outright bribery is another constraint.
Security iko mzuri lakini Uganda police ndio anasumbua sisi. Akifanya hivi anataka pesa. Na hiyo sisi hatuna.
Fewer standardized products from the Ugandan market also cause a big challenge.
Currently, the borders might be open, but for you to access the Kenyan market or the Tanzanian market, you must have standards in place. Otherwise, no country would be happy to take on products that are not standardized. Uganda has roughly 1,900 standards. Kenya has got roughly 6,000 standards plus. So that calls for the homework of harmonizing standards as well as developing and adopting standards.
For Uganda to fully benefit and compete in regional markets, the hard work begins with lowering transport costs by improving infrastructure and addressing the soft issues that raise the cost of trade.
And they've attributed this to increasing regional trade. How have you experienced this?
Of course, the regional cooperation increased the market. Our sales increased, but our margins in terms of profit decreased. Because the exchange rates went high, the bank lending rates went high, the infrastructure like the railway line no longer works, the waterways no longer works. So all those expenses, the cost of production increased so much.
Nonetheless, continued improvement of customs procedures has eased cross-border trade.
Now we have simplified export certificates that are being issued at the border, which was originally being issued under Chamber of Commerce. So to facilitate small traders dealing especially in produce, we are operational 24 hours and anytime a person comes, we'll get service. Not as before, we would wait for borders to be opened the following day.
Kwa hizo miaka 5 naona kuna mabadiliko. Ukifuka kwenda Uganda siku hizi unalala safari moja. Ukitoka pande hii ukienda Kenya unalala safari moja. Si kama zamani ulikuwa unalala siku 4. Kwa hivyo kuna improvement.
But this will need to be extended to border operations with new markets. On the production side, some work is still to be done for Uganda to remain competitive.
For regional trade to improve, for Uganda to become more competitive, we need to address the issue of quality. Because when trading in the region, we are not only competing among the region, we are competing in the global market. We must increase the process, the manufactured products. And I think that's critical. Because first, we lose money when we export raw materials. And I think if we started exporting mainly processed product, even if we do not substantially increase the volume, the revenue will more than double.
In enhanced regional integration, Uganda has an opportunity to achieve a better economic standing. In order to harness the potential in regional trade, The 2012 World Bank's economic update recommends that Uganda reduces transport costs through improved infrastructure and logistics, addresses non-tariff barriers, and removes restrictions on services trade. Deeper regional integration offers the opportunity to address these issues.